Hello, everyone. This is again Cheapy. So, just want to take the time, just reflect everything on this late morning. Yeah, basically finished my finals, and now I'm like, okay, what's next? But no less, just taking a little hike. I really believe I deserve it after like this whole semester just working and studying and finally finishing my degree. But no less, I just want to talk about like, whew, it's been a long time coming and I really want to take a trip to go to Japan this month, but like with job applications and it's already too late to take a trip because the tickets are too expensive now. But I just want to say this is my first December since 2022 that I'm not going back to Japan. And it kind of like feels strange because I have a deep history in that country with my last relationship, and that's the only reason why I went there for my last relationship. But no less, I just want to go not for like, I'm not going for anyone else except myself. But yeah, I just want to go because I feel at peace. I may have some like history behind it, but it just feels not right going this time of year. You know, like, I don't know how to explain it, but I don't know, it just feels a little bit sad because I have saw some, you know, pictures that every once in a while they remind me, hey, at this day you went to Japan, and I think December 7th on 2022 was the very very first time I went to Japan, and a picture popped up with the very first meal I had was a tonkatsu with egg. And at that time, it was with me and my ex, and like, I just looked at that picture not because like I miss my ex. I was like, I looked at the food and I'm like, wow, like it was a moment that I'm like, shit, I made it, and I did something that was so damn crazy to the point that like, just me saying it, like, I don't think no one believed me because this is how I got there. But if you guys haven't known, like, the reason why I got there was basically because through Tinder, of all places. So I think this was 2020 when COVID was in full swing, and the whole state of California in many places were under lockdown. So pretty much I was bored. I didn't have a job. I was taking online classes, but it wasn't the same. I was bored as hell. So I decided, okay, screw it. And I think Tinder had this one, what was it? Like a special event. Like, hey, we have this new feature called Passport, so use it. So I dropped a pin in Japan, Tokyo. And I think after a few swipes or a couple of days, I matched with a girl that would be my ex, that would be my girlfriend of 5 years. So I swipe, found that person, and we started chatting. And I think like, oh man, like the first 2 years we couldn't see each other because of Japan was under lockdown. And no, my bad. Then it was late 2022. We decided, okay, like Japan's finally like open back up. Let's see each other. Because the very first time that we were going to actually meet was in the Philippines. I think we were going to meet in the Philippines in like November of 2022. But this dumbass website called eDreams, booked those idiots again. Pretty much scammed me out like $600 to go to the Philippines. But yeah, I went to San Diego port. Turns out those tickets were fake. E-Dreams made a huge complaint. But I called up my chick, my ex at that time. Not me, not my ex, but my chick at that time. Like, hey, like, those tickets were fake. Sorry. And at that time, I'm kind of happy I didn't go because, like, I did go to see my ex's family. But now, like, realizing, yeah, like, I think if I went, I wouldn't have the opportunity to keep going to Japan back and forth because found out that my ex's mom didn't like me to begin with. That's a whole can of worms, but like, I thought she liked me, but turns out the whole time she didn't like me and just told her daughter to break up with me. So that was in 2025 of January, but let's go back to 2022 November. But deep down, now looking back, I'm happy I did not go to the Philippines. I'm kind of happy that those tickets were fake. But a month later, I'm like, okay, screw it. Like, I am going to see you. So I got tickets to Tokyo on December 7th, days before Japan finally opened back up. And I didn't know a thing about, like, going to Japan. And, like, I mean, I had friends, but I didn't know a thing. So I booked it up. It was, what was the time to go? Like 6 p.m.? And I don't remember, but it was at that time. And I think when I got Japan, it was like 10:30 or 10ish. So I didn't know the trains stopped going at 12 at midnight. So I saw my ex, and deep down, I'm like, oh crap, like, this is happening. I traveled 12 hours, and like sitting down, my ass was hurting, and I felt like crap. I was tired and hungry, and I see this girl, like, I'm like, wow, like, I've been loving for almost 2 years. I'm like, wow. Saw her, I didn't know how to react because, like, she just waved and, like, and I know she felt the same. So there wasn't much affection at that time. Like, okay, let me get my money. Let me exchange this money. And we went a train ride back to your place. And I think the train ride itself was an hour and 30 minutes. So I'm like, oh, crap. No. I got to her town at 11:30, right before the train stopped going. So we got out, and the little town, there was still people walking around at night. But like, the first thing that we did was I got some water and, I don't know, like a little snack. But we got that, and it didn't cross my mind that I was in Japan because, like, I was tired, jet lag, and sleepy. And got some water, went back to a place, but like, it was still a little bit awkward. But I don't know, like, all in me, like, I just looked at her and like kissed her, and she kissed me back. And we just fell asleep that night. I'm not going into details of what happened. That's too personal. But like, I think it wasn't too bad until we woke up the next day to get breakfast. She didn't work that time, so we were just getting adjusted. I'm like, okay, like, I'm here for 3 weeks. So into this new country, I don't know what to do. I'm a little bit like, I'm doing something batshit crazy, basically. But nonetheless, the second day we got food and breakfast. Then I think I didn't have any reception. One of the issues was, like, I had no Wi-Fi or like internet services, so I had no way to contact my family. And luckily she did. But the issue is, the next day she went to work, and her phone had a hotspot. So like, it was, I think the second day I was completely bored out of my mind. And I just stayed home the whole day and like, oh shit, like, this is kind of boring. But until the third day, we went to get a pocket Wi-Fi, and I think it was Shinjuku. There was a sketchy alley place that we got a pocket Wi-Fi. Fuck it. It worked, but it's whatever. So we got that pocket Wi-Fi, and we went back home and we met up with our friends. So one of her coworkers was living close to her, so it was my first time meeting her coworkers, one of her good coworkers. So we had food, we talked a little bit, and it was a good 3 weeks. Dude, for 3 weeks I was there, and like, we had fun. She showed me around. But it wasn't until like, I think the end of the last day of going to Japan, leaving Japan back to California. And what's strange about it, oh, look at this beautiful view, is that like, once we went to the airport, I had this not horrible feeling, but like, I was extremely sad and depressed because I'm leaving the girl at that time I thought I loved. And before I, went to my terminal, I just looked at her and like, yeah, like, wow, I didn't want to look at her because if I did any longer, I would actually cry in tears. And I could see it in her eyes. And like, she was really, really sad. And she was also about to cry. But I left and did my thing. But once I came back to California, oh, dude, it was around like, I think I left Japan from like 5 p.m. and went back home around like 11 a.m. or I don't remember, but I went home, passed out. And what was really strange is like, when you've been with that person for 3 weeks, I had a little nightmare, I guess, or a little like jump scare, because I took a nap, but like, I kind of scared myself in my sleep and like, oh, where's like, oh, like, wait, she's not here, she's not next to me. And I kind of I just said her name, like, hey, like, are you here? Like, then I realized, oh, wait, I'm back in California. So I went to the gym after taking my 3-hour nap. And I don't know, it just hit me like, crap, dude, like, I need to work a lot more harder and make a lot more money in order to make this relationship work. And I think the last few years I did grind, saved enough money. And that is one of the reasons why I went to Japan 3 times a year just to see her. And I think the last time I went to just see her was legitly last year in 2024, December. But this was going to be different. So, I went to see her. So I was in Japan for 2 weeks, just trying to reduce my jet lag. So she knew that. And, I guess at that point, being 5 years, we did argue and bicker a little bit. But I think that's normal for a relationship for that long. So, I think we went to the Philippines in January 2nd or 3rd. So we went to Cebu for the first week. I didn't realize, even in January, the Philippines was hot, dude. Like, once we got to the Airbnb, I did not sleep the whole night. I was sweating buckets, and it just was an uncomfortable experience. So, yeah, that I wish you told me, like, bring more shorts, because, more stuff that would be perfect for, like, hot weather. She didn't tell me that. But nonetheless, we were there for, I think, 2 or 3 days in Cebu. Then after that, we went to her hometown, her family's town in Alicia. That's down the bottom of the Philippines. I think it was in like 2 or 3 hours away from Sumbawa. I don't know. So we went from Cebu to Alicia, And that's what I thought. Everything would be fine. Because I was super excited to meet her family, her mom and dad, and like everyone else. And at that time, I'm like, okay, like hopefully these people will like me. Let me give myself the best foot and show them like I'm worthy for the daughter. So I think the first couple of days, I mean, we were traveling a lot, but they were nice people, and I actually loved her family. But one of the issues came up was with I think there was a huge party they threw for me. So the whole family, basically the whole town was there and celebrating. And at that point, like, I didn't know Filipinos could party. I'm Hispanic, so like Filipinos drink a lot. So her cousins and her brothers was like giving me so much alcohol. And I'm not gonna lie, I was super plastered. So then after that, the dad and like all the men want to talk to me and like in a way interview me. But I was so shit faced. But nonetheless, I just told him like, yeah, like I do this and that, like, and I'm so glad that I met you guys and I'm very thankful. Given especially the dad, I'm like, thank you, like I can't wait for you to be my future father-in-law, and like I really respect you, and just pretty much tell him how I felt. And like, so I think the mom didn't like the fact that I was pretty much plastered on my mind. But I wasn't like drunk to the point that like I was making issues or trying to fight people. I wasn't a belligerent drunk. But so we just slept, passed out. And the next day, the father showed me the government office. I met him. I met a lot of the government officials. We talked a lot. And I just told him, like, oh, yeah, it must be hard to run the government. I don't know. I tried to keep it interesting, like, show them I was interested. And the dad showed me around the town. And he's a very smart, intelligent, he acts like a young man in a good way, like, very mature. So we talked, and, I was trying to get to know him. But once we came back, turns out the mom was a little bit pissed off that we went to the government office looking like the night before. And I didn't know this, and I should have known this. I was wearing shorts, in the government office. In the Philippines, that is not allowed. You have to wear jeans, or like, you can't wear that. It can't be too super casual. So the dad he's a higher official government, so he got a pass. But like the mom was a little bit upset that we came to this office dressed like that. So I didn't know, like, maybe it's my fault because I should have done more research, but I didn't know we were going to see the government office because I thought we were going to have a nice walk. None of this was like planned. I'm like, okay, we just walk, we meet the family, we meet everyone else around town. But I didn't expect to go to the government office or like the government building. So my girlfriend at the time was pissed off too. Her mom was pissed off. So that was one of the reasons. And I think, that was one of the issues that I did something wrong that I shouldn't have done. But nonetheless, we went to around the island, and we pretty much like went to the beaches. So far, I was still thinking it was a good time, but like me and my ass did get in little fights. Stuff that like, I don't know, like we were traveling, we were both tired, and we just did I guess it's one of those things that like I thought it was normal, but for her it was like, no, like she had it up to here. And I think after a while, like she talked to her mom, like saying, and her mom kind of convinced her, like, yeah, like once you and him go to Japan, maybe you should break up with him. Well, she just broke up with me in America instead. But there was a lot of stuff that I wish I knew. So she kind of like blamed me for that, and it turns out the whole time she didn't really love me anymore. So she was over the relationship once we got in the Philippines. So I'm like, okay, like, wonderful family members told me, I'm not going, I know they watch this channel, but I'm not going to like say anything, but they told me everything, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, at least I know why she truly broke up with me, because at first she said, oh, I just don't want to have kids in the family anymore, so I'm breaking with you. I don't want to hold you back. But I found out the truth the whole time, and I think after that she dated another guy, a Japanese guy. But it didn't really matter to me, because maybe from my point of view, I was an American, I was doing my own thing, and like that didn't matter to me. But like, I just had many good friends who supported me and like helped me out. And luckily, one of my homegirls, I think she's the coolest girl ever, and she just. But now, like, I'm a lot better. Like, I feel a lot. But yeah, I needed that pep talk. It was around February, but fun thing enough, I got accepted to an internship in Tokyo. And my longtime viewers, you kind of see my like time when I was working in Japan. But nonetheless, love working there. Although I live 15 minutes away with my ex, but going back to that was very hard. I'm not gonna lie, because I was actually afraid of seeing her in the train ride, because we took the same train ride. I think it was called, what was it? Dude, I'm trying to think. Well, nonetheless, I kind of forgot the train route. But once I got to the place, my roommates were cool. I'm not gonna name them, but it was one girl from UK and one American, and like two other Japanese girl and a Canadian girl. So 5 roommates. But I really loved the place I was staying at. It was close to the shops, and I got to know my roommate, she was super awesome. We worked together at the same company. But nonetheless, it was hard being there. And wait, I think that's a bird. Oh, dude, wait, no, that's never mind. But it was hard, but I think having a big support group, especially like in Japan, like I had so many friends there that kind of kept my mind off. And I'm just happy that I had that privilege. But overall, guys, that is the story of how I met my ex, and how I went to Japan so many times, to the point that like I still want to go, and I just want to go super bad again, because it was a life-changing experience. I know we didn't work out, but nonetheless, I think it was one of those opportunities that if I had to start all over again and knew what was going to happen, I would still do it. I don't regret the relationship. I'm just happy that I took it. And I think the moral of the story is like, basically, if there's an opportunity, you do it. Like, you don't know what's going to happen, but down the line, you're going to see, oh yeah, I'm glad I took that. So again, like, I'm happy you guys are here and listen to my story, how pretty much met, how in a way I think Tinder changed my life in the best way. I know that seems kind of weird that I'm saying that, but just make sure to like and subscribe this channel, guys, and I hope to see you guys next time.